All right, T-Poe, are you ready?
That's her glass of water.
Oh, yes. There you go.
Thank you.
TPO, are you ready? T-Poe's going to do spoken word in a bar, which takes balls the size of large, what, have we decided yet? Coconuts, beach balls?
Grapefruits.
Grapefruits? No, bigger than grapefruits.
I like basketball.
Basketballs, good. Let's hear it for T-Poe, everybody.
Hey guys, I'm going to read one that I wrote today, and it happens to have some numbers in it. And it's not finished, and I haven't even ordered the verses yet, so I'm just going to lay them out the way I wrote them. And I'll write more and order them up tomorrow. It's called The Last Resort. Room 666 at The Last Resort is a door I've never tried. I've walked the hall that leads to it and wondered what's inside. But I never knocked or even stopped. I never broke my stride. Beyond room 666 I walked, afraid I could get fried. I have opened many other doors, once and sometimes twice. You get what you need at The Last Resort, if you can pay the price. The benefits outweigh the cost, or they might not exist. You might find love that you have lost, or be greeted with a fist. You could win or you could lose. You could end up with two lovers. Try this door at The Last Resort, or any of the others. One door leads to harmony, one door gives you grief. Another throws you through a loop as it shatters your belief. You'll check in when you're at your end, when you're at the end, with nowhere else to go. You pay your rent with vice and sin and reap a world of woe. And I'll finish that sometime.
Oh, awesome. Great start.
This I wrote about my Irish wolfhound, who has since passed. He was about this tall standing up.
Biggest dog in the world.
That's right. Brogan was so large, you see, from tail to muzzle, 7'3". When swimming in a lake or sea, he seemed as if a barge to me. Brogan was so doggone mellow, and like a good hound, he could bellow. When the moon was full and yellow, his verse was that of a Longfellow. Brogan, such a gentle giant, children found him quite compliant. He catered to them as a client, was never cross, mean, or defiant. Well, the broman's tail they'd grasp with glee, be it one child, two, or three. Through the park, they'd often ski behind their guardian and trustee. Mellow, yes, yet rancorous, if rot or pit bull menace us. Watch Brogan's attitude adjust. Either rot or pit, doggy dust. Because by the withers he would seize to lift 'em off the ground with ease and shake 'em like a bad disease and send 'em packing without their fleas. Because the legacy of the old wolfhound has been to hunt the canid down and with ferocity unbound dispatch them quickly to the ground. Yet if a puppy, child, or kit were lost or scared or just unfit, Bro was known to mother it, careful not to smother it. Now Brogan's gone, all things must end. The kids will long remember him. His spirit now is in the wind, my companion and my canine friend. And I know that I will never see another dog such as he, so loving, kind, so fast and free. True canine nobility. And I know we all feel that way about our dogs. So Old songs seem brand new. I was listening to the station that plays the oldie songs, FM 10 something, and I hadn't listened long when I realized the tunes I heard all seemed to be brand new. I couldn't help believing this was somehow linked to you, because this was very strange to me, because oldies take me back to where I heard the song first sung, to people gone and places past. But as I listened further to old songs I'd never known, they truly now seem different, and their meaning has so grown since you become a part of me and me a part of you. Everything is young again. Old songs seem brand new. All right, I wrote this on my 29th birthday. And it's like 29 was a tough one because the next one was 30, and everybody knows it's way uphill from 30. And I was afraid of turning 30, so I had to write something that told me I was a good man at 29. So this is what I wrote. At 29, he's still quite young in his body and his mind. He's a spirit free, no race to run, no treasure hunt this time. Unlike the man of 21, he's in his prime at 29. At 22, he thought he knew he'd be a family man, have a wife, raise some kids, and teach them of the land, share with them the joys in life and love them while they grew. Unlike the boy who went to war, he thought he knew at 22. At 24, he hit the road in search of something real. He had to learn to love someone. He had to learn to feel. He had to answer questions asked 1,000 times before. He had to learn to live again, because there's so much more at 24. At 26, he's on his way. He's there and halfway back. He's got it all together now, and it's rolling down the track. He's a poet, not a boxer, but he fights and never quits. He'll never be a magic man, but he's learned some tricks at 26. At 27, he fell in love, first time for everything, and naturally, the stars above, singing birds and spring, made him think of evermore, from now till we meet in heaven. It made of him a child once more, a child in love at 27. At 28, he's mellowing. The urgency is past. He's taking life in stride again, not making each day last. He's been through many changes, and he feels it must be fate. But he's bound to keep on changing, because it's not too late at 28. At 29, he's still quite young in his body and his mind. He's a spirit free, no race to run, no treasure hunt this time. Unlike the man at 21, he's in his prime at 29.
I wish I was about to.
And then at 30, I wrote this one. I turned a page and nothing changed. It stayed the same. Still I am alone, and still I play the game. I still walk through the grassy park, and I still can see the trees. Sun goes down, still gets dark, and still the autumn leaves crumble beneath my feet. You guys don't have to do that. And at 31, I wrote this one. I'm not much at philosophy. Religion doesn't interest me. I've never sailed across the sea or climbed the world's tallest tree. I've spent some time real down and out, insecure, full of doubt, not knowing that I soon would shout, kick my heels, and dance about. There have been times I rolled in dough. My gaze alone could melt the snow. I've known the things that I should know and gone the places I should go. There was a time of great romance, times we lived to dine and dance. We really thought we had a chance. but ants were crawling in our pants. The times I never understood, the things I couldn't do, and could, the things I shouldn't do, and should. A wiser man stands where I stood. As changing times do people change, yet basically remain the same. Finding strength, defying pain, turning losses into gain. Now, I'm not much at philosophy, and religion doesn't interest me. I've never sailed across the sea or climbed the world's tallest tree. But I've never tried to hurt someone, rob a bank, steal a gun. I've mostly tried to have some fun. I thought by now I'd have a son. Turning circles on the run, neglecting what I should have done. Half in darkness, half in sun. I'm lost in space at 31. PBR. Not the beer.
No.
Patrol boat, river. Cruising up the river, blinded by the calm, banana leaves and Tarzan vines, the ever-present palm encroaching on the waterway, hanging overhead. Rubber trees and orchids make the jungle green and red. Hooches standing high on stilts, open window, bamboo door. The dugouts and the sandpans dot the muddy shore. Paddies choked with sprouting rice, eddies choked with foam. His eyes fixed on the river's bend, his mind fixed on his home. The skipper turns the wheel to avoid a floating log. A deckhand motions to reveal a thick descending fog. The skipper turns the wheel again to skirt a silty bar. The smell of diesel permeates life on the PBR. The radio spits Morrison. A deckhand sings along. The end. Tapping feet and finger snaps bring on a momentary lapse. The fog begins to shroud the craft. Lookouts posted bow and aft. An eerie silence does descend as they approach the river's bend. Then shots ring out. Glance off the hull. The skipper hits the throttle full. A deckhand darts and ducks his head. The air is rich with singing lead. Twin 60s spray the fog-draped trees. A deckhand drops down to his knees. Rounds have pierced his chest and neck. His life is drained out on the deck. As he fades, his mind does roam. His final thoughts of wife and home. And though they know their friend is gone, his shipmates still must carry on. The skipper stops the boat midstream. The 60s scour the jungle's green in hot lead search for enemies. Charlie fires back through the trees. With death so close and home so far, that's life upon the PBR. The deckhands know the regimen. The radio spits Morrison. Then quickly as it all began, Charlie's up and gone again to melt into the canopy. The skipper gets down on a knee to cradle, hug a fallen friend. The lookout scouts the river's bend. The radio spits Morrison, and no one sings along. The end. Twin 60s. That's 60s. That's 60 twice.
Twice. Excellent.
Soul Brothers. There's some numbers here somewhere. I'm not sure what they are. But I looked them over, and yeah, there's numbers in this one. I could see it in his eyes. I heard him say it with his eyes as clearly as if he'd spoken the words out loud. But that was impossible, given the noise from the rotors and the
Disorder.
Thank you. And the disorder of the situation. but he was reaching far out and down from the chopper door, secured to the bird only by the hand of his comrade, tightly clenched to the back of his belt in jungle fatigues. But he was reaching, just a little further. I was chest deep in a swamp with 6 good men. One of us was rapidly dying as we tried with our last bit of endurance to hold him over our heads long enough for the man with the talking eyes to wrestle him into the chopper. I wasn't sure we could do this. We were on the only clearing for 2 clicks in any direction. The chopper skids could not rest on the water surface, nor go below it. I wondered if this mission turned dust-off attempt was destined to fail. And then I looked into the eyes of the man leaning from the bird. As his hand latched onto my friend's fatigues at the belt line, his eyes surveyed the scene. As his eyes scanned across mine, we locked on momentarily, like a laser. Through his eyes, I saw his soul. I believe he saw mine. It all happened in a second or so. But I heard his soul say through his eyes to me, "Bro, I can only imagine what you guys have been through today. I wish I could do more, stay and help, you know, bro. But know this, my soul brother, your friend is in good hands. Bless you, my brothers, and good luck." With that, he lifted my brother into the bird with one arm and all of his heart and soul, and then they were gone. Over the years, I have wondered if he had read my eyes the way I read his. If he did, I hope he heard me say, "Thank God for your kind, my brother. I know you look into men's tortured souls daily. Yes, it is hell down here right now. But I have the privilege to know the humor, hear the dreams, share the joys and the disappointments of these true brothers in arms. Never have I felt so alive. It's strange, you know, bro? You feel it too? Bless you, my hero brother, and Godspeed." I think I'm done here.
Come back again.
Oh, I'm in no hurry.
T-Poe, everybody, T-Poe.
You gotta go out on the top.